Very lovely to see some familiar faces and some new ones. And Hannah is just joining us. How lovely. So I'm going to suggest that we all lie down for this session, unless if you really feel like you'd like to stay seated or standing. But I think it's preferable today to try lying down in semi-supine. So if that's okay with you, but before we do, and I'll show you how we're going to lie down. Before we do, when we're lying down, when I say place the hands on the upper chest, you can place just one hand here and then one hand on the abdomen like this. And then the backs of the hands is what we place on the ribs to explore. So that's all I mean, if I should say that. I may even ask you to tap on the upper chest, which is a simple little tap up here, not kind of down here, just up here, so that you can close your eyes and not have to worry too much at looking at the screen. So what you'll need is a few books for your head. So when you lie down, the purpose of the books is to just cover the gap, really. You can see this curve of the spine. I just want to make sure when I lie down, I keep this natural alignment. My head isn't too far back or too pushed in. And I'll just show you. So we'll be on our backs, taking the books. Hopefully you can see me. Place the books under the head, like this. And then you can have the legs bent, feet flat, quite close to the body, wide apart. Palms of the hands resting very gently on the abdomen. Go ahead and you can lie down. I'll give you a minute or so to get comfortable. And just make sure that you can still hear me wherever you've landed. And literally, wherever you find yourself, just allow your eyes to close and give your whole system, your body, your mind, whatever makes you, you, give the whole thing a chance to just land in this new position. You may well have been doing something completely different before now, and your system may well still be catching up with this moment. So we allow ourselves just a few moments to fully land. You can use gravity as your friend here. Gravity would be pulling you down, just like that apple falling off the tree. Allow the weight of gravity to help you begin to release the weight of your body. Allow yourself to feel contact with the floor. Maybe you can feel parts of your back, your shoulder, your pelvis, your feet. Those are the points through which you release the weight of your body. If your hands are resting on your abdomen, maybe just allow the palms to notice the movement of the breath underneath. Very subtle movement of air, always exchanging. Just tuning in. Gently taking our attention away from the external world. Bringing our attention internally. What do I find? I really want to be kind of like a child here, an exploring mind. What can I find today? Certain element of trust is involved. I want to trust this process. Good, and I notice myself calming down, quietening down, and already the pressure is slightly lifted. Physically, it's lifted off my spine because my head is supported at the top of the spine. And the weight is taken off the bottom of the spine so it can begin to do what it naturally wants to do, which is to lengthen upwards along your back. So we take a moment to just find our spine inside. It's very low down. The base is right at the coccyx, so where your pubic bone is. We'll go right down there and we're just going to think our way up along the spine. There's these beautiful natural curves up through the middle back, through the upper back, through the neck. And imagine it, send it out the top of your head as if it never stopped. It continued out the top of your head. Do that again one more time. I'm just finding my spine really. Good. The spine can begin to breathe upwards and along. Good. And I can remind myself that when I lie down in semi-supine, this is not wasted time. I'm gathering something here. I'm not doing anything. My system can rejuvenate. My spine can begin to lengthen. And I have a little bit more control over what's going on. Good. And then we're going to just very gently circulate our attention just to incorporate the whole of our body into our thinking. The weight of the head we start with is very heavy. Really, really, really allow this weight to drop through and begin to feel supported by the books. Remember, it's not just the physical weight of the head, it's all those thoughts. They too have a weight, and this is your chance to just release them downwards. I can have a wish for my neck to be free. And that means releasing in my throat, releasing in my jaw. That's it, and the tongue naturally releases. I can allow a little wave to begin permeating down my body. It's coming over my shoulders, taking the weight of my shoulders off and into the floor. Wave spreads down my arms, releasing anything it finds, anything unnecessary. This is the time to let go. My hands begin to feel a little more weighted, just rising and dropping with the movement of my breath. Good, and I can really allow my whole back to spread out and feel this huge sense of support from the floor. Very good preparation. This only takes a few minutes and the whole system responds positively. Your back begins to spread out. All the musculature that's normally holding on for dear life can begin to expand instead of contract. Very gently allow your fingers to lead your hands, placing one hand on the upper chest as I showed you earlier, one hand on the abdomen. Just find your breath. There is no right breath. There is only my breath in this moment. Where is it? Where do I feel the movement? Keeping your hands there and your attention on the release of your body into the floor, the movement under your hands. We very gently together just direct the in-breath in through the nose and allow the breath out through the mouth, which means a small release of the jaw so the mouth opens very gently And we have that beautiful, what we call the whispered R coming out. Not changing the breath, I'm just directing it in through the nose. Jaw releases for the air to come out. And again, in your own time, allow yourselves a few of those in through the nose, out through the mouth. Good, and we're going to allow the out breath to turn into a sound. At this point, the system begins to get a little bit agitated because I've given a command that can normally interest us and activate something, but you say no to that. I'm not so bothered, I'm not so interested. Actually, what I am interested in is allowing the breath in through my nose so that when I allow the air out through my mouth, I can just make a sound. It doesn't matter what sound comes out. Can I stay with the process? Whoa. Be sure to allow a full exhalation so that a natural in-breath, diaphragmatic breath can fill up your lungs. Release the jaw, another exhalation, and allow any sound to come out. Wait a little bit longer at the end of that exhalation so you can really feel that diaphragmatic breath coming in. One more of those in your own time. Allow your hands to feel the movement of the air. Very good. And then allow both hands to just rest on the abdomen, and I bring my attention back to the weight of the body dropping down, the spine rising up my back. And then you can have what I call exploratory hands, which is going between one hand on the upper chest, one hand on the abdomen, and then the backs of the palms, just resting on the ribs to see if I can feel anything. This is it's like a very true moment, a moment of grace to really find something for yourself. Are my ribs expanding a little bit more? Is there a little bit more depth to my breathing? Is there a bit more movement in my torso? And then wherever you want to place your hands, we'll do a couple more together, allowing yourself to just direct the breath in through the nose. Remember, the lungs come right up to your shoulders. Releasing the jaw. The sound will only last as long as you have breath. We do one more together, and I want you to just enjoy this one. You've tried really hard, gained a lot from this, so enjoy this last one. Good, and I'd like to invite you to actually stay lying down or seated, however you are. Keep your eyes closed, and I believe Malgorzata will take us on a magical journey. Is that right, John?
Yes, thank you, Sarah. That was so calming and relaxing. So do stay where you are, and we're going to go into the world of myth and fairy stories now. And I think that myths and fairy stories are such an important aspect of human life, very traditional, often forgotten in modern times. So over to you, Malgorzata.
Thank you, John. Yes, stories and narration is actually how we in our societies understand world and remember world and our own history. So yes, histories are very important for our social and mental health. And now let me take you in a little journey through the story written by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm. And the story is about clever Gretel. So there once was a cook whose name was Gretel. She wore shoes with red heels, and whenever she went out wearing them, she would turn this way and that way, and she was very cheerful, thinking, "You are a beautiful girl." Then after returning home, because she was so happy, she would drink a swallow of wine, and the wine would give her an appetite. So she would taste the best of what she had cooked until she was quite full, and then she would say, "Oh, the cook has to know what the food tastes." One day, her master said to her, "Gretel, this evening a guest is coming. Prepare 2 chickens for me, the best that you know how." "Yes, indeed, sir," answered Gretel. She chose the chickens, and then, as the evening approached, put them over the fire to roast. The chickens began to brown and were nearly done, but the guest had not yet arrived. Gretel called to her master, "If the guest doesn't come, I'll have to take the chickens from the fire, and it will be a crying shame if they're not eaten soon, because they're at their juicy best right now." The master answered, "You're right. I'll run and fetch the guest myself." As soon as the master had turned his back, Gretel set the spit and the chickens aside and thought, "Whew, standing here by the fire has made me sweaty and thirsty. Who knows when they will be back? Meanwhile, I'll just run down into the cellar and take a swallow." So she ran down, lifted a jug to her lips, saying, "God bless it for you, Gretel," and took a healthy drink. Wine belongs together," she said further. "It is not good to keep it apart," and took another healthy drink. Then she went and placed the chicken over the fire again, basted them with butter, and cheerfully turned the spit. Because the roasting chicken smelled so good, she thought, "They could be lacking something. I'd better taste them." She tasted them with her fingers and said, "My, these chickens are good. It's a sin and a shame that they won't be eaten at once." She ran to the window to see if her master and his guest were arriving, but she saw no one. Returning to the chickens, she said, "That one wing is burning. I'd better just eat it." So she cut off and ate it, and it tasted very good. When she had finished it, she thought, "I'd better eat the other one too, or the master will see that something is missing." When both wings had been eaten, she once again looked for her master, but could not see him. Then it occurred to her, "Who knows? Perhaps they've gone somewhere else to eat and aren't coming here at all." Then she said, "Well, Gretel, be of good cheer. The one has already been cut into. Have another drink and eat the rest of it. When it's gone, you can relax. Why should this good gift of God go to waste?" So she ran to the cellar once again, downed a noble drink, and cheerfully finished off the first chicken. When the one chicken was gone, and her master still had not yet returned, she looked to the other chicken and said, "Where one is, the other should follow. The two belong together. What is right for the one can't be wrong for the other. I believe that if I have another drink, it will do me no harm." So she took another hearty drink and sent the second chicken running after the first one. Just as she was making the most of it, her master returned, calling, "Gretel, hurry up, the guest is right behind me." "Oh, yes, sir, I'm getting it ready," answered Gretel. Meanwhile, the master saw that the table was set, and he picked up the large knife that he wanted to carve the chickens with, and stood in the hallway sharpening it. The guest arrived and knocked politely on the door. Gretel ran to see who it was, and when she saw that it was the guest, she held a finger before her mouth and said, "Shh, be quiet, hurry and get away from here. If my master catches you, you'll be sorry. Yes, he invited you for an evening meal, but all he really wants is to cut off both of your ears. Listen, he's sharpening his knife for it right now." The guest heard the wetting and ran back down the steps as fast as he could. Then Gretel, who was not a bit lazy, ran to her master crying, "Just what kind of guest did you invite?" "Why, Gretel, what do you mean by that?" "Well," she said, "he took both of the chickens off the platter just as I was about to carry them and just ran away with them." "Now that's fine tune," said the master, feeling sorry about the loss of the good chickens. "At least he could have left one of them so I could have something to eat." He called out to him to stop, but the guest pretended not to hear. Then he ran after him, the knife still in his hand, shouting, "Just the one!" But the guest could only think that he wanted him to give up one of his ears. So he ran as though there were a fire burning beneath him, in order to get home with both of his ears. That's from Brothers Grimm. Thank you very much. I hope you liked it. You know, research says that reading stories, after even 10 minutes slows your heart rate and relaxes your brain, actually. So just maybe you want to try it out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Malgorzata. I love that story. I hope our guests, it brought a smile to your face. So if you'd like to get up now and get your pen and paper ready, I'll shortly pass over to Eva, who's going to take us through a procedure. Eva, while people are getting ready, maybe you could take over.
Thank you, John. And thank you, Malgorzata, for this wonderful story. It's actually wonderful to also be guided like that, and with a voice that is professional in that sense of sharing stories to make them alive. And thank you. Yes, I will now go through two things actually, but before that I will present myself. I'm here in Stockholm at the Royal College of Music, and unfortunately I have the last year we had been struggling with long COVID with my husband, and we have been trying and piloting with different methodologies to be able to handle the situation with him. He's now involved in 2 different research projects here at Karolinska Institute in Stockholm, and still not 100%, but step by step he's doing better, which is very promising for us. So during the last year, we have been doing contemplative inquiries, meditations, relaxation movements, thinking about what we eat, bring the nature indoor, and also using different self-figure drawings, self-human drawings, methodologies. And therefore, I have chosen to share with you today 2 of those methods. So I would like you, if you feel like drawing, use your pen and paper and draw a self-figure drawing, which could be something that symbolizes your feeling in your body right now. So you can use 1 minute and draw a self-figure drawing which relates to the feeling that you have in your body right now. I will do the same here. And now you can stop drawing and put your paper upside down, and I will guide you through an embodied contemplative inquiry, and we will come back to the self-figure drawing again. So I will now share my screen. So what you see here is a method presented in the literature by Arthur Sionk, and he called this methodology contemplative inquiry. We have used it a lot related to different difficulties we would like to solve, embodied contemplative inquiries, but also cognitive in contemplative inquiries. And today I would like to introduce to you the embodied contemplative inquiry. So I would like to start to ask you if you could focus your attention on something that you feel is urgent for you right now in this moment, in this particular moment. Something that may worry you or something that feels urgent. And I would like you to focus on this for a couple of seconds. I would like you to focus on details of possible images, inner images, sensations, but keep the focus on this specific, let's call it a keyword. Something that you feel is urgent or bothering right now in this specific moment. And if it feels comfortable for you, you can close your eyes And continue to focus your attention on this specific thing. A couple of more seconds until I come back. And now I would like you to change your focus. You can open up your eyes, and I would like you to go into the open awareness and open up everything that is in your body. Thoughts, maybe emotions, bodily sensations, sounds, maybe inner images, smells. Just open up everything that is in your body right now and stay a couple of more seconds into this open awareness space until you hear my voice again. And if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. And now I would like you to go back again to your focused attention and think about your initial wonder. I would like you to target, to focus your full attention to the thing you just started with. Just see if there's been a change in the original keyword or wonder you had. And also stay with maybe that new image or new word that you would like to focus on right now. So focus your attention to this new wonder. The thing that feels urgent for you right now in this specific moment. And now we go back again into this open awareness space. So if you feel like it, you can open up your eyes and open everything up that is. Thoughts, sensations in your body, sounds, maybe inner images. Let your thoughts wander. Open up everything that comes to you right now in this specific moment. Invite your body. Just see what is. And in just a couple of seconds, we will go back to the focused attention again. So we do, we go back to the focused attention and just rest there. Just rest what is in your focus right now. And I also would like you to scan your body and just feel what is going on in your body right now. And now you take your paper and your pen, and I will give you 1 more minute just to do a new selfie drawing. An image of what you feel in your body right now. So you can open up your eyes again and spend a minute on the second self-figure drawing. Doesn't need to look as a body. It can also be a symbol of the sensation you have in your, the feeling you have in your body right now. So that was 1 minute. And now I would like you to just spend a couple of seconds to look at your first and your second self-figure drawing. And just observe. Not interpret, just observe details in your drawing. Are there any differences between the first and the second one? How did you use the paper? Did you choose to another pen? Maybe you could also give your self-figure drawing a title or a theme. So does the second self-figure drawing have another theme than the first one? And now you can also interpret the changes between the first one and the second one. And now I ask you, if you see something that you didn't see before we started this exercise, when you relate to your drawings, when you relate yourself to a drawing that represents something from you, and now I will explain a little bit about those two methods. And we can also discuss this after this short presentation of mine. And this concept of self-figure drawing, it is presented in different research projects. And it has been used for chronic pain patients, for example, and also for fibromyalgia patients. And the concept is been used since the 1950s, the first one. And the name of, we call it in the beginning human figure drawings, but today it's more related to self-figure drawings. And when we project a drawing like this, we can reach new insights. We can see things that wasn't obvious to us before. And when we use this sort of non-verbal methodologies, we could also allow ourselves to open up a space in between ourselves and how we express ourselves as human beings. So I have been using this concept in many different ways, also for post-COVID patients. And I will say that it has been truly meaningful to do it repeatedly. So to start a day with a self-figure drawing, and maybe do that a couple of times a week. And when you have a series of self-figure drawings, you could start to see things, to observe first, and also to interpret changes in the self-figure drawing. But it's also important that you standardize it with maybe 1 or 2 minutes, so you don't spend too much time when you do the drawing. And maybe also you can do it together with others. And you can also interpret your own series of self-figure drawings retrospectively and have new ideas, and also see things that is going on in progress in your body. So thank you very much, John. I think I stop there for now, and thank you for joining me. I will stop share my screen now.
Thank you very much, Eva. It's such a fascinating field of inquiry that you've introduced us to there. And it opens up a whole new avenue of exploration. So we have some time left, and we would welcome some questions. I'm going to stop the recording because we don't record our guests.